Good afternoon. We're back with Amelia Bishop, and we're going to explore a few more issues around Brexit. Amelia, can you tell me what work you're doing to help customers who are trading internationally?
Okay, well, it comes in different forms, but I guess initially what we do is we sit down for a full 1 day review with them,
Mhm.
where we conduct a risk assessment and identify exactly which risks are basically set to affect their trading,
Right,
dependent on the various outcomes. So,
right,
which are the most vulnerable? Through that, we have a look at their supply chain. So, do they buying goods, products, or services from outside the UK? And if so, what could the potential implications of that be, even if it's temporary, again, depending on what happens? In some cases, as we've done with a recent client, we explore whether they've got any manufacturing capability within their operation. Not all have, some have a small capability. And we looked at expanding that or recommending expanding that manufacturing capability to see if they could become less reliant on importing goods
hmm,
and actually sort of set up more of a manufacturing base. They'd already started, um, so we just looked to extend that, as best
right.
we could to help them again become less reliant on importing.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. So, have you any more to say on that
Well,
particular subject?
again, from an import perspective, if you haven't got a manufacturing arm, have a look and see if that particular product or whatever it is manufactured in the UK and what the comparisons are in terms of quality and price. Quite often it's known that you can buy cheaper from outside the UK, but is the quality always there?
Okay, so you would be encouraging companies to look for opportunities and diversify if necessary, and so on.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right, right.
Now, when it comes to your sales side of it, so that's all on the purchasing side. Where do you buy from? When it comes to the sales side of it, if a company exports outside of the UK, if their customers are around the world or indeed in the EU, they could be severely affected by our leaving the EU. Again, we've talked in different videos about what's this going to look like, and we're still waiting. Worst case, if there are customs barriers put up, it could be time delays, it could be difficulty getting produce over, certain produce could be affected. We would have a look at, based on the number of sales and where the highest amount of sales come from country wise, potentially looking to set up a separate operation or an extension, a subsidiary in an EU country so that you can continue to trade seamlessly.
Right. You have sort of cooperation agreements, partnerships with organisations to help you do that.
Absolutely, yes. Um, we work with, we've got companies all over the world that we can work with to put people in contact with to either set up another operation or a subsidiary in a different company. Now, that will only be recommended if there is a good percentage of your sales are exported.
Right.
Now, naturally, if the majority of your sales are made within the UK, then you have to look at how painful will that be from an EU or rest of the world sales perspective if there
Right.
was if there were to be difficulties.
Yes, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yes.
Now, again, it's about thinking about opportunities and having a look at outside the box. Now we look at all of this um, in that first day. It's 1 day's consulting where we go through it for 8 hours. We look at and consider the customers, the suppliers, and the competitors. Now, if somebody wanted to go deeper and they haven't got the capacity or the capability to go further, we'll come back on separate visits, and we will do supply chain assessments, competitor reviews, and customer analysis. You know, if you're suddenly starting to buy your products from within the UK and they're a higher cost but much better quality, maybe you can appeal to a different subsection of potential clients.
Okay, that's very interesting. You obviously offer a very comprehensive service, and thank you very much for explaining that to us.
That's okay.